Welcome back to my shop, Tom Strezik Workshop. Today we're going to talk about taking a board with a rough sawn end like this, and it's not square and it's rough and it's ugly, to something nice and smooth and square like this. This is a multi-step process. This is going to take a little while. So we're going to start out by taking a saddle square. You could also use a tri-square for this operation. I'm going to take a saddle square. I'm going to put it up to the wood here, take a marking knife, and going to scribe a line across the wood. And the saddle square is nice because it allows me to reference itself and go all the way across. I've already done this because this is the least interesting to watch and most time consuming part of the process. So marking knife, saddle, or tri-square. I imagine you could also probably use a combination square if you wanted to. The next step is to create a valley in which the saw can ride. If I were using a chop saw for this operation, the chop saw is automatically going to be plumb straight up and down, and the fence is square to the blade, so I don't have to worry about it wandering at all. However, the saw is going to want to follow the path, a hand saw like this, is going to want to follow the path of least resistance. I want to give it a path of least resistance in which I want it to ride. So what I do is, the reason I use a knife line instead of a pencil line is that it gives me a positive reference for my chisel. Now you take the chisel, bevel side facing the part that you want to cut off, and you set it right in that line. You can feel it reference. Now, I don't know if you can see this in the video, but I can tell when the chisel is straight up and down based on the reflection of the wood. Then I go all the way around on all four sides. Come on, you bloody thing. Now, it was imperative that I make the board square and true, because if not, my scribe lines wouldn't meet at the fourth point. It would be, if this was slightly off square, and this was slightly off square, and this were slightly off square, when I go to do this one, it wouldn't, this would be up here, this would be down here, and it would be off. So next, set the hammer off to the side. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to create a groove that the saw is going to want to fall into. So I go in with the chisel, bevel up, and I create that groove. Now what this is doing, first of all, in the top instance, is the chisel doesn't, or the saw wants to fall down into here, which is great. That's what I want. However, I'm going to do it all the way around so that there is less wood in this groove overall. That way the saw wants to follow that path. It's the path of least resistance. It's going to follow that track. Just cut that little bitty nib off there. All right, now take the bench dog out. This is a bench hook. Western saws operate on the push. Japanese saws operate on the pull. When you pull towards you, it cuts, and you have your hand to prevent that from happening. However, as Western saws operate on the push, you need something that's going to prevent the piece of wood from going forward, and that's what the bench hook is for. Now, I'm going to start the cut a little bit here, but what I'm really going to do is I'm going to take off, god damn it, this corner right here. and then go down this shoulder that I've created so that I know that my cut is going to be plumb and square. Once again, creating a path of least resistance for the saw to follow. And once I've got that established, I can just saw. Now, operating a saw like this, you don't want to hold onto the saw too tight, otherwise it's going to cause the saw to want to tilt out. You hold it like you're holding an egg. I put almost no pressure on the handle of the saw. There we go. Now we've got a mostly smooth and square area. Now, the second thing that this bench hook does is I've turned it into something called a shooting board. Shooting is actually a word that means to make something go straight. You don't shoot a gun, you fire a gun. You shoot a bullet. A shooting board is what you use to take your plane and make it go straight. Now, the key to a good shooting board is making sure that it's square. So like this edge and this edge together make a perfect 90-degree angle. So that when I'm riding my plane along it, do a little bit deeper there. Need to back off some. When you're riding your plane along it, it goes perfectly straight. Now this is end grain, and end grain is no fun to work. So realistically, all I'm really worried about, since this end is actually going to be cut up into a tenon, I just want to make sure that it's mostly square and smooth. And check, looks to be square that way, and square that way, and square that way. And we are done. A lot more work than just a chop saw, to be sure. But that's how people used to do it before chop saws were invented. All right. Thanks much. Have a good day.